Hey everybody, welcome to It's Just Bodybuilding. I'm Big Ron Partlow and of course Dusty Hanshaw and the producer Scott McNally. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring the bell.
And remember, IamMutant.com. Go to IamMutant.com, get your all in, get your Mind FK, get your
Big Greens.
Big Greens, yes.
Big Greens.
Your Hardcore ISO.
Yes.
Hardcore ISO, the new name.
Changing it up.
Yeah, that's what I threw. I was trying to remember to make sure to get that new name in there. Hardcore ISO instead of ISO Surge. They changed it. Same great product. And everyone should get on the gear.
Everyone.
All the gear.
There we go. All the gear. Okay. Remember, Big Ron and Dusty are your codes. Save money, avoid people. Scott, what's going on today? What is the news?
The news is the Tampa Pro. I mean, I got to tell you that there are so many people that I've talked to over the weekend that were just so freaking pumped about this show. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys hear about, like, there was a lot of energy around this contest. We should do it. We should do it right in honor of even bodybuilding and break it down. Just like you would, except for maybe
Who
not.
Who are we skipping? Third place or fourth?
Make an attempt. We randomly pick 8 numbers to skip before we do the show, right? Yeah. Random number generator of people we're going to skip. Okay. Well, first of all, the Jordan Quinton showdown was, so obviously we haven't talked about Jordan on the show really, but I've been watching him on Instagram. He's like, I knew he was going to be really good, but you know, I just thought we'll see what happens in this lineup. Right. Yeah. And, I initially, like, someone sent me, I know we didn't talk about it on the show yet, but someone sent me like a list of the names like a week ago. And Lionel Bayecki was on that list, right? He, of course, didn't do the show. I don't know what happened, but Lionel was on the list, and I just said, oh, well, if Lionel's on the way Lionel can be, he'll win.
Right.
But that's all the attention I paid. I didn't know what he'd been doing lately. I haven't seen him in ages, right?
Yeah.
And, of course, he didn't do the show. So we wound up with, like, I don't know. Who had this showdown picked, Quinton and Jordan? Like, who had that as, like, the top two? I mean, obviously, they're both great, but the lineup looked good.
I will say that I had Jordan as soon as he entered.
Right.
Because he's been working with Tuttle, and what they have done in the last, like, Jordan he's actually from, like, an hour from where I live.
Right.
The changes he's made in the last 2 years are absurd.
He's awesome.
He's up like 30 pounds, and it's literally all dropped in the perfect places.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks bigger than he is, and he weighs. I mean, he was 270 something leading in, and he looks every bit of it at his size. You know, so I sent to you guys the pictures, and I was just like, I just think he's too thick, and obviously Quinton is bananas. But
Quinton looked crazy.
And Quinton wasn't on my radar at all on the other side of the spectrum. No thought on him. I immediately said, I think what most people did outside of Jordan, I was like, well, obviously you got Jewitt, so there's a contender for the win. And then you got Justin Shire, and he's obviously a contender for the win as well. And
Justin looks so crazy too, and his progress pics and stuff. His dimensions are so insane, you know. So I was with you on that. I was like, I can't wait to see him.
So what I'm saying is, I was a genius and also a complete moron that knows nothing about bodybuilding all at the same time.
I saw Jordan was entered, and we know Quinton. You know, I mean, obviously Quinton stepped up and was like his all-time best this show, and now it's like a new level of Quinton. But you know, he had a rough year last time he competed. He wasn't at his best at every show. He redeemed himself in Toronto there a great deal, but you know, it wasn't what he wanted. So he just wasn't. I wasn't like thinking, oh, he's going to come in and stomp everybody. I just thought, oh, he's going to be one of the guys, probably top 5, first call out. But I was looking at John Jewitt and John Delarosa along with Jordan, because, you know, we know John Delarosa has what it takes to always be in that top mix and pull out a win. He's been to the Olympia before, so no surprise for him to do it again. And then John Jewitt is just so complete and always on, and, you know, he's such a smart guy that he knows how to actually improve his physique from one outing to the next, which is something that not everyone knows how to do or is capable of doing. But John Jewitt, with the way he gathers data and pays attention to everything, I almost expect him to find something to improve on every time he comes out.
And he did look incredible.
And he looked incredible.
Yeah.
So, the only way John Jewitt goes backwards with a look is if like his tan goes to shit or something. Like it's not going to be his management of variables that screws up John Jewitt. He's just too on that stuff. That's his department, right?
Yeah.
So I knew those guys would all be in the top there, but man, does Quinton look humongous. Like, you realize that most bodybuilders are 5'8". Like, when you look at that lineup and Quinton standing there opened up, it's crazy how huge he is. And I mean, Quinton was just in my gym like, a few months ago there. He was like way over 300 pounds and super lean. Yeah. And it's just, you see him in person and you're like, oh, because, there's not a lot of guys that are like the 6 foot plus huge.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And they're a different experience to encounter in person when you, Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this, because I'm kind of getting off this show, but on that note with Quinton.
Of course we're getting off it.
Well, we can come back. But with Quinton, I feel
we're already off.
There's one person that I could see like apples to apples being a comparison, and that's Samson. Like, I feel, well, you would put Andrew Jack in that combo too.
Yep. Yeah,
we're in really
the Andrew Jack category. Yeah,
small waist. What would it
crazy
take?
Joints.
Yeah, what would it take Quinton to beat Samson?
2 years.
2 years, just more. Okay,
more.
Yeah.
When I look at him, all I think, and this is almost everybody, but now that he's brought it in, he just needs time. If I was a top guy, if I was beating him right now, like a Jordan or these guys, I'd be like, oh shit.
Well, the knock on Quinton,
he's coming and he's going to get bigger, and he obviously has figured out how to dial it in. Right. Without flattening out. I mean,
because that was the knock, right? Like, he had a tough time previously with
thigh
getting
gap.
the condition. Yeah, getting the condition without
thigh gap.
Size.
The thigh gap debacle.
Yeah,
but he was. I mean, and I know this gets overdone. Quinton can win any show there is eventually. He is a guy who can win an Arnold Classic. He's a guy who could win an Olympia. I look at him and I mean. And that I would not have said, 72 hours ago. But now I look at him and even how he poses, something I push to my clients, I'm sure you guys too, is when he was hitting his shots, I feel like he's looking at the judges in the crowd and saying, "You're welcome." I'm gonna. You've been watching a lot of bodybuilding. Now let me show you another level. I mean, he is wildly impressive. I'd love to have him on the show. I think you know him well, Ron. So we should get him on.
Yeah, no, I'd love to get Quinton on. I've even mentioned it to him before, and he's cool with it. So
tell him you know Scott. He'll come. That's I use the I know Scott all the time.
Quinton doesn't know me.
I definitely would love to see Quinton do an Olympia, man. He that would.
Is he going to Texas this weekend?
Yes.
Oh, then he's going to do an Olympia this year.
Yeah, that'd be something else, man.
I mean, oh yeah, play this.
Yeah, he looks so good here.
I mean, what the fuck?
So I see him, when I think of him and his structure, I'm thinking guys like, well, I mentioned Samson. I'm thinking guys like Tony Freeman, Cedric McMillan, Sean Rhoden. He's got that type of structure to him.
Yeah, he's brought his back up too. The knock was that his back wasn't fully there yet because he's so huge.
Yeah, like it's a lot of size to fill out.
A big, huge guy needs like so much muscle hanging off his back. It's like
I don't see any thigh gap there.
But it's
down by his knees.
The shape and the structure and
how. I mean, I don't think people realize either. I know you could see in the video, but standing in front of him, he is literally as wide as a truck.
Also, too, you don't get it because of how like his height and everything. But when you see him in person, his calves are like the size of my freaking head, And like obviously I've got that
big head.
I've got that calf thing because I always wanted crazy calves and never had them. But
Scott didn't even notice them.
So you see a guy like Quinton in shorts and you're just like cantaloupes, just massive, you're thinking, oh God, this is so unfair. No one else gets it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why he has those, so Ron and I don't.
Yeah, just unbelievable. And I know no one cares about calves except for guys who don't have calves. That's like
I feel like it should be illegal for guys with calves to wear full length pants. Even
Or
in their
shorts.
weddings. Even in their weddings.
or shorts.
Or
Either
shorts.
make them enjoy the fact that they have calves, or don't let them enjoy the fact that they have calves. I'm torn.
I have a great story about that. I was helping a guy with his posing one day, and we're trying to adjust his legs so that they would like pop, And he goes, well, how should I stand? And I said, you got to stand the way that makes your legs look best. And he goes, well, my legs look best in pants. And I was like, I can't do that. But
That's when you introduce them to the physique division.
exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
So I wanted to bring up third place.
Did we do the top two?
We did.
We did.
We
So
ran
far,
him over.
Oh my God.
We're on a roll here.
This, I don't even know how to say names. Joseph Palacios. Is that right? I don't
Down
know.
in California.
Dude.
Yeah, I didn't know this guy.
I'd never even heard of him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if Gilco's got a video of him there, Scott, but if he does, pull him up. I mean.
Yeah, I think this is the guy, too, that we had an old picture of him, I guess. Andrew pulled some stuff together on the last BSG, and everybody said that was the worst picture you could have shared. And Skip tore him up on the podcast. He was like, this guy's not going to do well. And everybody lit us up on the comments for that. He looks really good. Look
what
at
I
that
love
back.
is
Look at
he
those
doesn't
glutes.
have the greatest shape genetically,
Right.
Yeah.
but he's so massive.
Yeah.
He really
Just
is.
gnarly.
You cannot ignore him.
And also, too, another lesson. I mean, I know this is a pro show, so it's different from, most people watching the show are doing like, local, regional, state, national level shows. But, the glutes, shredded glutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, get your conditioning down, I heard a guy at the gym the other day talking about posing, and he was like, yeah, but, my posing is really good, and, I've got better shape, so, blah, blah, blah. And he was kind of speaking, I was eavesdropping.
Yeah.
But he was trying to talk around that he wasn't shredded.
Right.
Okay.
And obviously that's what you do to you're gonna get yourself in the but I just
got a
kept
lot of
thinking,
size.
Like look at the glutes. You can say, oh, he doesn't have the best structure. Yeah, well,
Look at his posing too, though.
three.
Like he's doing
posing well.
Phenomenal posing right now.
The side chest is crazy. Look at the size of the pecs.
Yeah.
Absurd.
And
it's
no
really
surprise
good
he's shredded from the
control.
back.
Really good control of everything he's doing here in these shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were rooting for him too, based off of the feedback we got on Blood, Sweat, and Gear on Friday, because there was an outpouring of people who were like, you guys did Joe dirty.
Really?
After you guys sucked so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he looked great, though. Incredible.
And then, obviously, like we already touched, we had Jewitt in fourth. I saw nothing off it. He just ran into a lineup.
Yeah.
And I think that's a thing good for the viewers, too, that compete. Like, that's why you can't base all of your success on where you place. Because I saw nothing when I was looking at Jewitt. I was like, oh, if he would have done X, he would have moved up. I'm like, not in that lineup. He could have been fourth or third in my eyes. But, I mean, outside of that, there was nowhere to go. You know?
Yeah.
And then I wanted to, I don't know Bruno Santos, but he was also obviously awesome. Very conditioned, huge legs and adductors. I don't know if you guys saw his pictures, but in a front double, when your adductors grab my eyes, that's pretty freaky.
Pull up a picture. Do you have a picture?
I got some video of him.
Yeah.
There we go.
I can't remember which guy. Oh, yeah. Is this the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real crispy. I feel like they did a good job with the lighting at this show, too.
Yeah. Well, Gilco does a great job of getting the footage up quickly. Also, like all day, I just watched his page. I was like, this will be I'll watch.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks good.
And if he was just a little harder, he's a threat to go up even further. You know,
him and Delarosa were kind of like, like fourth and fifth there.
And Delarosa got sixth, but I wanted to mention, because I don't know if you guys knew, but he's done 34 pro shows.
I believe it. Yeah, I totally believe that.
I remember him with a fifth place at a New York Pro in 2012.
Okay.
I'm proud to say I competed with John once.
Did you really?
Yeah, he did the Van Pro the year I did. He got second to Fuad. It was him and Fuad for like first and second. And,
he's been at this. Like, I remember him training with Victor Martinez when Victor was on top. You know what I mean? When he was doing great.
Winner had to buy Denny's at midnight after the show for everybody. So,
John is one of the biggest people. When you see him in person, he's like the small, like his height, stature, but he is enormous.
Yeah,
just absolutely huge. I love that he went out with a phenomenal look.
Yeah, he sure did. Last year,
bodybuilding didn't retire him; he retired, and I think that not a lot of people get to say that in a 13-year pro career.
Yeah, Yeah, he looked pretty great last year too. Like, his conditioning has been on point.
But he was just definitely an old school guy in the fact that, like, he competed.
Yeah,
I just went back and looked while we were starting the show, and I was like, I'm counting them up, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, from my count, which could have been off by one or two since I was speeding, I had 34 pro shows, and he was always in the mix.
Yeah. And he did a few Olympias too, didn't he? Like at least a couple.
Oh yeah, no, he's got. Let's see here, 1, 2.
It's a good shot. Nice, most muscular.
I see 2 Olympias. Yep, and then the big ones. He has. Including the South Africa and stuff, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Olympias. Arnold's.
Oh, Arnold's.
And I believe 3 of those were 2 or 3 were the U.S. version.
Right.
And and he always brought it there too.
How many pro shows did he win?
Fourth at the Arnold Classic in 24
in Columbus. Yeah.
Okay, so
how many
he
pro
said
shows? He must have won at least 5.
Yeah, they're not listed off. I have to touch every single one, but I mean, he was winning shows. He's literally always in the mix. I mean, I've just randomly touched and I've already hit 3 wins.
Yeah.
So,
and so he's retired now. Is
he retired right after the show.
Announced it, yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a show, or excuse me, a hell of a career.
We could have John on. He'd have tons of stories.
Oh,
I'd love to.
Yeah, he'd be great.
And he won. He did win a New York Pro, 1 or 2 of those too.
Oh, did he?
So
yeah.
He won the 2014. I know that.
Okay.
That's a big win. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. And then I love when you look, because I'm just flipping through them, and it's like, he had an off show in 2016. Yeah. And then I look at who beat him, and you're like, Dexter Jackson.
Oh, there you go.
Victor Martinez. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I said, I remember seeing videos of him and Victor training together, and that was like in the days of Kai being back in New York and competing. He's been around New York a long time.
I call that New York era.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There was that last blast of like, we were really like.
Juan Morel and him.
Yeah. Kevin English and Juan Morel training at Bev's. I trained with both of them at Bev's.
Did you really?
Yeah. Kevin and Juan together.
Kevin English, incredibly strong when you trained with him?
They did so much volume.
Okay.
It wasn't, they were just doing, I just remember thinking like, man, Juan benches, like Juan Morel, how many sets did we do? That was like the most volume I ever did for chest in my whole life.
Yeah.
I did a chest workout with Kevin English and Juan Morel, and I think we did 30 sets of chest.
Okay.
And just 26 more than me.
Yeah. And
Dusty's done. Dusty's at home by then.
Yeah. And like literally third or fourth exercise was like a superset with flat bench.
Okay.
Like, and one was doing 3 plates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is not manageable. Like this many sets in doing like a superset with crossovers, and he's doing 315, boom, 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 and then like he was strong. Like they moved,
Juan
like
was
you know that
absurdly
sort of
strong.
like volume strength where you're not moving crazy weights, but you look at the poundages you're using, like 20 sets in.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's they just go all day. Those
It adds
guys.
up.
Yeah, it adds up. It was good work. And I remember we were like 30 sets into chest, and one gets a phone call. He's like, I got to go. My truck's done. And he like leaves. I'm like, oh, well, we've done a lot of sets. I guess he's done. Like,
What you guys didn't know is when you started that workout, they started building that truck.
yeah, he was getting it detailed or something. He was like getting it detailed. And we were like training, and we're like, and then so me and Kevin did like one more thing afterwards before we were done. It was funny. We were filming.
I remember back then when Akeem Williams was like the new kid. Do you remember that when he came in? And he was just like this crazy strong new kid. And hey, you know who else? We're talking about old school guys who've been around for a while. You know who I talked to over the weekend was Derek Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's traveling today as we record this to the Masters Olympia. So he's like,
I
believe
think I
it's in,
still
like,
have
Japan.
his thumb somewhere jammed into my low back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get him on, by the way, when he comes.
We
back
have to
and
have him
settle
on.
back in and stuff. He's got some
I
stories.
say Derek worked on me once, but it was sort of an impromptu. Went in the back of the booth. I mentioned something about my problem lat, and he's like, "Oh, come with me." And then we go in the back of the mutant booth, and he just starts ramming his thumb into my ribs, and he's up under my armpit, and he's like under my shoulder blade, and I'm like screaming, and he's like, "Yeah, it's something in there," and he's like, pulling my lat off my ribs, and
S&M going on at the mutant booth.
I'm like, yeah, I'm all bruised up. So
Yeah, he's done some work. He
didn't
did some
fix
work
it.
on my shoulder, like in the front of the booth one time. I was like, it's clicking. He goes, "Here, give me your arm."
Yeah.
And like 5 minutes later, I was
Derek will
fixed.
remove your limb.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, thanks, buddy."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
classics.
Come on.
But yeah, it was just a great show all the way around. And there haven't been a lot of shows when I'm not there, to be honest, that I'm watching them throughout the day.
Yeah.
So you realize we made it from first to sixth, and we didn't miss anybody.
I think that even bodybuilding was rubbing off on us, is what it was. You guys wanted to step up your game a little bit.
If he watches, he'll still tell us what we did wrong, but that's
sense
okay.
of fairness.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We didn't say enough negative stuff. You know what I mean? We needed to. You guys aren't colorful.
Yeah.
No.
Valid.
It was a
We
good
liked
show, though.
everybody.
It was a good
We
show.
liked everybody.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we moving on?
Yes.
Is that enough?
If we go any further, we'll start messing it up.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
take our win.
Quit
Let's
while
take
we're
our
ahead.
win.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've said 2 nice things to my wife. I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to try to come up with a third nice
No.
thing because it comes out wrong.
I saw this amazing thing the other day, you guys. It was on Instagram, and this guy walks into his house, and he looks at his wife. He goes, "Hey, give me a beer real quick before it starts." And she goes, "Okay." So she goes and gives him a beer, and he drinks it, and he sits on the couch. He goes, Quick, grab me another beer before it starts." So she goes off and grabs a beer, brings it back to him. He drinks it. She's like, "Give me one more beer before it starts." She's like, "Before what starts?" He goes, "Just give me the beer, hurry." So he gets the beer, he starts to drink it, and she goes, "Are you just going to sit here all day?" He goes, "Shit, now it started." I lost it. I'm like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
Fuck, it started. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Good stuff. All right.
Okay.
We got some questions.
We got a bunch of questions, man. We got a lot of them.
My people never fail, on my short notice. Oh, shit, we didn't plan anything. Help me.
Yeah.
Aren't we going to talk about your death threat?
Oh, we should cover my death threat. Am I
didn't
allowed
know
to
this was
read
a
the death
topic.
threat on the show?
I realize
death threat
I
is
have
acceptable
done
by
I've done
YouTube.
nothing impactful with my entire life. I have affected nobody.
Let's not call it that anymore, by the way. We'll stop using that word. Unalive threat? Maybe.
Unalive
An unalive threat.
unfriendly email.
Yes.
I realize now I have not tried hard enough to make an impact because I'm not getting unalive emails. Like,
yeah.
You must be doing something great to have someone hate you so much.
I like the way you're looking at this.
Like, I need to try harder because I feel like a little left out. Like, I've got people that dislike me. I've got people that say, I hate that guy, blah, blah, blah. I've heard lots of insults about me, and I've gotten some mean messages, but I've never gotten an unalive.
And your family unalive.
And your whole family.
And your whole family.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I want my family included.
And here's the thing. If I were to receive that, I would hope that I knew what I had done. Do you know what I mean? I would, he's saying that because of this thing that I said. I don't even know. We don't even know what Dusty said.
Because I want a chance to change, Scott.
Yeah. Or just take responsibility. You know what I mean?
I thought that I thought the title of the email was the best.
Yeah.
Dusty Hanshaw, son of a bitch, posting some crappy contents.
I love how he left spaces. What was the word
between the letters?
So I assume
son is SO space N.
Yeah.
Bitch was B space I space T space CH. They stayed together.
Yeah. So and then the death threat itself kind of has some spaces in it.
Unalive.
Are they thinking? The unalive threat. Are they sort of thinking that that'll dodge like a sensor bot or
I don't. I'm wondering that
AI
too.
that picks up violent threats or something? Like it was almost like the spaces are.
I wonder, would it have been reported in some way? Would Dusty
like there's some email filter, something picks it up and reports a suspicious content if it's not spaced out like that.
Right. But in a positive note, guys, the last line was "Rest in peace."
Oh, well, that's nice.
So I feel like he brought it up
sort
nicely
of, at the end of the day. It's all going to be okay.
Yeah, we all do have to go.
Unalived.
Yeah, which is going to happen to all of us.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, well, all of us one day will be there. So
I brought it home and read it to Nikki, and she just laughed and kept making lunch.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, see, I'd be tempted to, since you live in the States, I'd be tempted to give it to someone in the FBI. Can you find out who this is?
I give it to them, then they're like, it was us.
It's part of the psyop we've started against you to drive you insane. Right?
Then they found out I'm already there because I laughed and then went to my next set.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dusty's getting emails. So if anyone out there hates me, step it up. I feel like Dusty has had, people that they say if you don't have any enemies, you've never done anything impactful. Right? I'm starting to feel like my life has been too soft and nice. I don't have these emails coming in. I wonder, do I have enough impact?
Yeah.
We'll get you there, buddy.
I know.
We're just sprinkling a little more American on you. You'll get there.
I know. I need more of that. Okay, beautiful. What's next?
I mean, how do you leave that topic?
That wasn't even on the questions. We haven't even started the questions yet.
That was an answer.
Everybody the update.
Yeah.
Scott, do your thing, whatever you like.
All right, I'm just going to go from the top there. And I do see one, too. We'll have to get to one from my client. We have a story from the weekend. But before we do, from Dude Man with a bunch of O's, what is the last cycle by Ron and Dusty before going to TRT? Scott, I know that you're on the gas. How is that going currently? I don't know if I'd say I'm on the gas. Love the show. Thanks for the entertainment. But yeah, so what was, do you guys remember, what was your last cycle?
My last cycle, well, I mean, I did the Van Pro in 2015, and then I was off season 2016, trying to get nice and juicy big again when I put my quad.
Oh,
and I remember I was 315 at the time when I took my quad tour, and I remember I was running test and EQ, and GH. So it was just test, EQ, and GH at the time, and I was 315, and that's when I tore my quad. And then after that, and during the rehab part, I just used a bit of test for the year to rehab,
Yeah.
And then I think I did another probably cycle of EQ with test again to like try to size up or, you know, something. And then that would have been my last cycle. And then I would have been like, okay, enough's enough. And I would have been like, let's open the gym.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So it would have been test EQ and GH. I'd bet money was probably the last cycle I ran. Probably
like
somewhere around 750 test and like 500 EQ or something, like just basic shit. I wasn't doing a show.
Mine would have been after, I was probably training for about 2 months after the coma.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's speed this process up a little bit. And so I just went with real simple. I did 750 test, 300 EQ, and then I dropped some A-bombs in there for about 4 weeks. And then I got real heavy real quick, and I was like, oh, better get rid of those. And that was always my tried and true. And I know Ron is with me on that. Like, test and EQ was just, when in doubt, drop those in and have a good time. And that, I never really got like fancy with the cycles, even when I was growing. I was like, throw those two things in, things take place. And we've talked about this on the show before, but I gotta like say this again for people. I have been up, like I'd went as high as 1200 on test. I just didn't really see any change. Like I didn't see enough difference between the 750 line and the 1200 that it made sense. So I just didn't do it. It wasn't like an anti or, oh no, I'm walking the path, so I'm going to go lower. I went up and nothing happened. And I was like, well, then what's the point? I know what boosting, you know, obviously other things went up as well, but I was like, there was just a point for me where it was very obvious that the return on investment wasn't there. And I like to just put that out there because everyone thinks that I'm like holding some flag for low doses. It's like, no, just the doses that work.
Yeah.
Like, right. You know, in my prime of like chasing to be as big as I could, if I needed 1500 milligrams of test to do it, I would have done it.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like, oh, I would never. It just wasn't necessary. And when I tried to go up to a higher level, it just wasn't, I didn't see anything. So, and I've dabbled with here and there since then, but it's more like, you know, for fun. I'm like, oh, what would it be to throw in 400 milligrams of Primo with my test here and see what happens? And, you know, for fun.
Yeah, I remember you saying you did that. It was a while ago. I can't, and it was like not, and that's kind of, I hate saying what I've done now, because I usually don't really stick with it, to be completely honest with you. I'm not like running cycles like I was. And about maybe 2-3 months ago, I decided, I was like, I'm going to get back on a cycle, and I'm going to do like a legit cycle, like 750 tests, something like, I can't remember what it was, if it was like 800 tests and 700 EQ or something. And it lasted about 2 weeks. And I was like,
you realize taking shots sucks.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to do all these shots, and I don't want to buy a bunch of gear. So I was like, you know what? How about I do, it was like we'll say it was like 800 and 600. And I was like, well, then how about it's 400 and 300? And I was like, well, how about just 300 tests and no EQ? And I was like, well,
just slowly.
Yeah. But that said, I do have some DHB on hand. I have some clients that all kind of around the same time wanted to start DHB. And I had heard, so I had run DHB Dihydroboldenone, basically as testosterone breaks down into DHT, Equipoise breaks down into DHB, right? The reduced form. So I'd heard, I'd used it twice. I'd used it once in a cut situation and once in an off situation. I had a great experience with it. And lately I'd been hearing people say in the last year or so, well, it's really a toxic compound. And I had heard this kind of parroted on comments where it'd be like, DHT, liver value is going to go through the roof. So I have a client who, UC Suma, has been up to Ron's gym actually. He said,
great guy. He's a genius,
cool
by
dude.
the way.
And he's competing again this weekend. Yeah, he is like literally Mensa, right?
Yeah, he's on Mensa. Yeah, he's a Mensa guy.
And he works with me. God,
sorry for outing him.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't want to use
boy's
Trend.
wicked smart.
I don't want to use Trend this off season or this contest prep. So I just don't want to. I get a little edgy, it messes with my sleep a little. What else could we do? And we talked about DHB. So he starts running. It was 6 weeks in. We did labs. his labs are the best they've ever been on a cycle. Like, he's doing incredible. Somebody else that I work with is getting labs done this week, and I've got some. And just because I don't want to run a bunch of gear, I'm going to do 100 test and 100 DHB twice a week. That's going to be my cycle, and I can handle that because that's literally like a cc and a half per week. So I'm going to do that for a little while. We'll see how that goes. It's very low dose, you know.
Nice. Okay.
I'll get labs too. And then we've got some other people that are getting labs because I want to put this to rest once and for all. How toxic is dihydroboldenone?
You know what is hard for me with toxicity is that it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
Like, I've done my blood work like after a show and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
And then it comes through and I'm stunned at how good it is. I'm like slightly out of range on a couple of things and you're like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
And then I have clients that have run a couple of things. They send me their blood work and I'm like, oh my God,
you need to retire.
Dying.
Yeah.
My worst blood work ever was one of my very first shows.
Okay.
And then within 6 weeks of the show, it was completely corrected. And it couldn't have been gear related because I was on very little gear. It had to have been the way I dieted. And so what happened was I had done a couple shows already. And then for the 99 Albertas, which I was peeled at and won the overall, I was very broke. I was going to college full time. I had no money. So I just bought like 20 amps of Sustanon and a bottle of Clen.
And a Costco membership.
And a Costco membership. I literally did that show on 2 amps of Sust a week. And then my buddy gave me like a handful of Halo tabs for like 2 weeks.
Yep.
Like I had nothing. Like it was very minimal drugs. And then after the show, I had my blood work done. Everything was pretty good, but my liver value, my ALT, was 1,000.
Okay. Yeah, that's high. Time to take a break from the Halo, you know?
And I was like, I took like 20 megs of Halo a day for 2 weeks and 500 megs a test. Like it can't be, I've never seen that before. Because my show before that, I took like other stuff and my liver enzyme was fine. But the diet I had done this diet where, and this is why I think my liver value was artificially elevated. I was dieting on very high protein, almost no carbs.
Okay.
And so, you know, your body does a lot to change protein into glucose.
Right.
And I think I had a lot of liver stress on all the processes that may have been going on with the diet I was doing because it was extremely low carb, high protein. I was kind of living on protein.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I went, like my doctor was like, oh my God, your liver. And then within like 5-6 weeks, it was back down to range. And I was like, oh. And then I never, ever saw an elevated liver value, even over 100 after that.
Really?
Even on like Anadrol and other stuff. But I never did that severe long term of a kind of almost carbless diet.
So are you saying that rice fixes liver levels?
Yes. No, I'm just saying that's what I suspect is that the diet, the forcing the liver to process all the protein into fuel.
Yeah.
Probably had something to do with that liver enzyme level, I'm guessing.
I mean, with 20 milligrams of Halo for 2 weeks, that's like nothing.
Yeah, it couldn't have been.
So that doesn't math out.
Yeah, like I never, ever again saw anything like that ever. And I was just like so weird. And I was young and I was only 23. So like you're so fresh and
resilient.
Yeah, like it had to have been some weird freaky thing with protein gluconeogenesis. Isn't that the word?
Gluconeogenesis.
Yeah, gluconeogenesis. Yeah, whatever you stress.
Gluconeogenesis.
Yeah. So that's my guess. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but
I always like to mentally think of how someone could twist what was just said.
You gotta eat rice, bro.
What you got was don't go low carbs. Got it.
No, it was some funny circumstances. It was something going on. Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Okay. We got 2 questions here from the Shredded Cheese, who's a client of mine, competed this week. Ooh, I got to tell you guys a story about him too, by the way. But I'm going to throw these questions at you first. It says, you could only eat protein bars for the rest of your life or go vegetarian, or would you rather eat soup or sandwiches for the rest of your life? And go, Ron.
So those are two separate questions?
Two separate questions, yeah.
So I couldn't live on protein bars for the rest of my life. I couldn't do it. But if I going vegetarian, that's tough. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Because if you go vegetarian, you can't have milk chocolate again for the rest of your life.
Ooh.
So there's the protein bars. I don't know, man. Protein bars, like, after I eat like 3 of them, I'm like,
couldn't
okay,
you
I'm
be
done.
like one of those soft veg people where they're not like fully vegan, so maybe the chocolate could stay? They have rules
Soft
like
ass.
like religion, you know, where you have the rules you follow and then the ones you don't.
Well, there's vegan and there's vegetarian, and there is
Yeah.
a difference. But like vegans, well, a true vegan, like people forget what that means. But like back in the old days, a vegan wouldn't even wear leather shoes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's a true vegan, right? People forget that. They think it's just diet related. But this is vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
okay.
safe. I think we can keep the chocolate.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really care too much about vegetarian foods.
I would
That's a tough
definitely
one.
go
I'd shit myself a
vegetarian.
lot eating the protein bars, though.
That's what I was gonna say. In defense of those around me,
Yeah.
I'd go vegetarian.
I'd have to live on like chocolate flavored vegetarian protein powder, and
Can we time travel in this?
I can
Because
put
if
that
we
in my
can go
cream of
back
rice and make it yummy.
to like the early 2000s when all the protein bars were full of shit, they were just candy bars.
Oh, those
I
are
could
good.
live off of the detour bars.
Oh yeah,
I could
detour
live
bars.
off of a detour
Live
bar.
off detours. the one exception.
I was like, so if I can go back to like 01 timeline, I'm going protein
What
bars.
happened to the detour? Does it still exist?
No, I think once they had to meet label claims, it didn't quite taste the same.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I tried one of those. This is how it goes down when you're a young
I was like, this is
bodybuilder.
Snickers. with
You take
soy
a bite
protein
and you go,
drilled in it.
this is definitely not actually on the label.
No.
And then you continue to eat them as if the label is accurate.
Or you have 3 at your the first time the detours come out, you eat 3 at a show, and then you like almost shit your pants at the show. Yeah, yeah.
They had
Yeah,
these.
that was my morning every day when I was a kid. I would go in and get a detour bar when I get to work, and an ephedra drink.
Oh god,
Oh God!
Kick the day off with pure
Yeah.
ephedrine and candy.
the stuff we did to our systems.
I was recently explaining to somebody about yohimbine, and I was like, well, if you took any fat burners in the early 2000s, you probably had used. And as I was telling him that, my brain went back to like, do you remember how popular every company's fat burner was? There was like Redline and Lipo 6. Everybody had a fat burner, you know. And then
Pyroclan. Yep.
Yeah, all of those things, man. Hydrocuts and all that.
Oh yeah.
Well, they all
I
had
was like,
pure
that was
ephedrine
the
in them. They
thing.
were amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
They
gonna
were
say
amazing.
I'm going to plug my friend Bill Toko's protein bar, the War on Sugar. He sent me a couple boxes of these, and I'm going to tell you, they are actually really good, and they have pure whey isolate in them. They do have a lot of fiber, so that's kind of like the way they get away, because it's like a keto bar. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I could eat like 6 of them a day, but I have eaten 2, and my digestive system was cleaned out in a good way. Like, it wasn't a bad thing, but I was like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm down to
Choose
pound.
the number.
You
I
know,
had
number
I was
2.
at it. I was
Yeah.
at a barbecue once. And I had a burger. Well, I had a few burgers, and I
Yeah.
had like a third burger. And I was like, oh, that one was pretty good. And I just have my burgers plain, me, right? I just have like
Oh,
a
yeah.
patty and maybe a slice of cheese. And anyways, and then someone's like, oh, you ate one of the veggie patties. It was one of the black bean burgers. And I was like, oh, that's why it tasted different. But it was
Yeah.
pretty yummy. It was
Those are good.
I liked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But then someone at the party told me, oh, those aren't the good quality ones. And I was like, oh, well, I like them. Was it better than that? Maybe I could live on those. Maybe I could live
Maybe
on
I need the
those.
shitty quality.
Yeah, that why it was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's classic. Now, we already know what Ron's answer on the super
sandwich.
sandwich.
Chicken
Yeah.
noodle soup and beef and barley soup.
Yeah, get your protein in there with the beef.
I'm a
and the chicken.
protein. I'm almost an old man now. I can order soup.
Yeah.
Don't
The sea
threaten
was
me.
angry that day, my friends, like an old man sending soup back at a deli. Yeah.
Don't threaten me with a sandwich because that's not a threat.
No.
I
No.
eat sandwiches every day.
I'd live off sandwiches too. Yeah.
Done.
Can I make it myself, or does someone else have to touch it?
I prefer if someone else touches it.
Sandwiches with mayo. Every sandwich has mayo.
The problem is the sandwich comes, and I don't trust exactly what's been done to it.
They put the gloves on.
Peel the top back and look, someone's spitting this. I don't know.
So I have a story.
A lot of layers there.
From this client. And I have questions, a follow-up question for you guys. So this is Jeremy, the shredded cheese. And here's the deal. So
Great name, by the way.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. He had to diet really hard, okay? And he's at a point where he struggled to make weight, all right? So his cutoff was 194, and we're like eating next to nothing. Like food's real low, and he's at like 195, 197, you know? And his weight just doesn't want to come down. So we went to basically like a modified keto diet, and we got him down to like a solid 191, 192, 193 area. But he would also have trouble with sleep from the diet. So if he didn't sleep well, he'd wake up at like 197 or 202. And if he woke up at 202 so we have to weigh in Friday night because it's a state level show that he just did this past weekend. Right. And so we ended up having to basically starve him that day, like no food that day, fast. And we had to control fluid. Like, okay, you're good. You know, he'd weigh in. And I'm like, okay, you can drink 4 ounces of water over the next 30 minutes and then 4 ounces of water after that, and then check back in again. And we'll see if you can have more water or if you have to wait, you know?
Right.
So he has to drive, I think it was like 2 hours. And that he's driving on Friday. He's timing it up so that he can get there right at 5 o'clock when weigh-ins start, right? Everything is timed up perfectly. About 2 hours, and it's my date day. So I'm not doing anything else for work except for hanging out with my wife and then talking to him. And I hadn't heard from him for a while, and I kind of texted him, see what's going on. Everything's good. And, you know, I don't hear from him for a while longer. He should be showing up pretty soon. And then I get the text, I forgot my trunks. Oh my God. He's been, you know, I tell you about the diet, right? He was pretty upset at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he could probably hopefully laugh at it now, but he was like, you know what, man, I've just been so hungry for so long. My sleep freaking sucks. And like now this, it's like, I don't need this. Like, I want this to be done. I want it to be over, you know? And I feel for him, but at the same time, I'm like, but he looks, I think we got a pretty good plan here. You know, I know what we're going to do with him after he gets on the scale. We just have to get through this thing. But he got very reactive, and I've been there. You know what I'm saying? So moral of the story is he ends up going all the way home. 2-hour trip turns into like a 5-hour drive. I feel for the dude. Not drinking, not eating, right? And he makes weight, and he ends up winning 2 classes. Like his mind was blowing, right? He gets up there for the overall in bodybuilding, and the guy who won the overall would like just completely destroyed anybody at any state level show. It's a big dude. Right. He looked really good. So like there's no love lost there. You know what I mean? Like he did the best he could, did incredible, and his perspective completely changed too, you know? And he's like, oh shit. So I guess my point is, because you guys know firsthand, like you make a mistake like that and you let it get in your head, that could be the end of your prep. Do you know what I mean? Like one bad thing can happen and you're like, oh, this is it. Like, I don't care anymore. I'm done. I just want to go home and eat. You kind of, you tap out like that. It all worked out for him, and I'm glad that it did. And I think there was huge lessons for him. But like, I think that it's a great it's a great teaching tool, Ron. And I thought we could talk about either mistakes that we've made that felt like the end of the world right before the show, or maybe mistakes we've seen clients make, and how did we pull through those things? Because am I right? It could have gone the opposite way. Had he said like, screw it, I'm just going to drink water and we're going to do whatever happens, like he wouldn't have made weight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or just the stress.
Yeah. Fuck. I've seen everything go wrong. Like,
right.
And some of it, obviously, the self-sabotage part. I had a guy, he was doing light heavyweights, and he was, like, very good. It was like a provincial level show. He'd already done one show and won the overall or whatever, so, like, he was good. He was a threat to win this show. And he was getting ready for the light heavyweights, and I remember I couldn't get a hold of him on Wednesday, I think it was. And then on Thursday, he's like, hey, I'm not going to do the show.
What?
I was like, what? And he's like, I went to Burger King yesterday.
Ooh.
And I ate like you don't even want to know. I just went off. And, and I'm like, well, what do you weigh? And he's like 212 or something. And I'm like, oh, dang.
And he's a light heavy, so 199 is his cutoff.
10 pounds over, but like Burger King puffy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God. So like I have a talk with him about finishing. I have this big talk where I pull all the energy out of my ass to try to like motivate this guy. I'm like, I know how to fix this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll be your very best, but you will be very good as long as you're a light heavy. As long as you weigh 197, you should look really good.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, help me help you fix this. You're going to regret this if you don't do the show. I forced him to like agree to do the show.
Yeah.
Like, just 2 days, Thursday, Friday, just give me 2 days.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Kate, eat this, go pound this, drink this, like just go hard. His weight, and you know, sometimes when you, if someone eats like that, their weight doesn't peak until like 36 hours later.
Yes.
I remember he woke up on the Friday. I remember him being a little heavier than the day. Like, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it was like he'd gone on the no carbs and stuff, but it was still just so many calories were in his body. Like, you know. And so then Friday was just like pulling water off of him. And I remember he went to weigh in and he weighed in at like 201. Oh. And they gave him an hour. I think like, okay, you got to come back in an hour because we got to hide in everyone, blah, 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 blah. You got an hour. And I remember I made him take a suppository.
Yep.
I was like, you are going to put this up your ass.
Sometimes it happens in bodybuilding.
Like you are going to go to your room now and you are going to do this. Like, and then I made him run the stairs in his sweatsuit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, just go up and down as many times as you can. Like, don't stop. And like, he came back soaking wet. He went and like,
good,
his guts out.
Good.
Came back and he made the weight.
Yes, he did. Good.
He won the show.
He won the show.
And then he quit bodybuilding completely. And I remember afterwards, I was like, oh God, it's so taxing to drag someone to a show like that and make them do it. And I swore I would never do it again. And like if someone's, and then I did. I've done it since then.
We've all done it more than once.
You lose perspective. You know what I mean?
Like, you want something more than they do. Like you want it
not only that.
them.
I mean, the athlete, like they lose. You can, and I've had it happen to myself to degrees where like you lose perspective. Ron? Do you remember that movie Memento?
Yeah. Yes.
So I've told people this.
Fantastic movie, by the way.
Here's the analogy I use. I say there's a movie about this guy who would wake up every day and he would forget all of his life. Every morning he woke up, so he started writing these Post-it notes to himself. And I'll tell him like a month out when they're doing good, or 6 weeks out, or at the beginning of the prep, I need you to write a Post-it note to yourself right now mentally about where you're at right now, what your goals are, what you want to achieve, because you might need to look at that one day, 8 weeks or 6 weeks down the road,
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because it's all in how you handle those things. In 2010, my first USAs, I don't, as you guys know, I don't book anything. I don't book travel. I don't even know where the hell I'm going half the time. Literally, I'm going out of town this weekend. I found out the other day where we were going. I was like, oh, cool. I knew we were going to a cabin. I didn't know which state it was in.
Nice.
But anyways, so Evian had booked where we were staying for the USAs, and we're in the room. We're all set. We get there Wednesday, show Saturday, and Thursday, I'm in my room and I get a call from the front desk, and they're like, "Hey, you didn't check out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm staying till Monday." And they're like, "No, you're booked for one night." I was like,
"Ooh,
no, I'm booked for the whole time." Well, we find out that she had bought the room from a different site, where essentially what they would do is book you, and then if there were openings, they would just book again every day. Oh. Well, the hotel apparently had sold out, and obviously that's a good time for a meltdown of some sort. And instead I looked at her and I said, here's my credit card, figure it out. And then I just sat down and I said, just let me know what's happening when it's all done. And I actually, to this day, have no idea what happened. I don't know if she paid them. No idea. I just know I didn't switch rooms, and everything went fine with the show. But I was like, yep, that's on you, kiddo. Figure it out. Yeah. And here's the card that'll take care of the damage if it's needed, and that's it. But the worst thing I had with a client, one of the worst, was I had a guy coming in for a show. It was a big show. I think it was Emerald Cup. And I had him completely peeled.
Yeah.
And he was suffering, you know. And everything's going good. He flies up. I get my pictures the next day. We are dead nuts on. Everything's going well. Then I get my afternoon pics, and they're a little off.
Okay.
And I was like, what'd you do today? And he's like, no, everything's good. Everything's good. And I was like, are you sure? Like nothing changed? And he's like, no, everything's good. Just, I don't know. I'm holding a little water out. I was like, all right, well, get a good night's sleep then. Go to bed early. Maybe I think you're maybe stressed.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I need you to relax. I'm like, no change the plan, but I want you to go to bed early. Take a sleep aid, whatever. So he says, okay. The next morning he sends pictures and they're worse.
Oh.
And I said, bro, something's off. There's something you're not telling me. And he's like, can I call you? I was like, all right. So he calls you. So
you knew there was something up when he said, can I call you?
Here's the thing. My mom brought these chocolates for me to eat after the show. And I was like, and how many did you consume before the show? And he said, all of them. And I'm like, oh, we've introduced dairy into the equation. Shit.
A lot.
You know, and I'm like, I said, okay, just for my own knowledge, how much? And he said, whatever you think, it's more than that. I was like, okay. And we did the best we could. He ended up getting third in a show he would have won the overall for.
Yeah.
And I bring it up because I can't fathom doing that. Like, and he said, I'll be honest, man. He goes, I wanted to have one.
Yeah.
And then he said, basically every time he went through the kitchen, he had another one.
It's just one, you know.
And then it fell apart. And I was just, I mean, that's a case like where, I mean, I was actually angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit how you could eat 3 times that much Saturday night. We just did a 24-week prep of hell. And you broke on chocolates 48 hours out? It just, and I struggle with understanding people in general. So this one really killed me. I mean, he killed himself.
Okay.
Threw it away on chocolates.
Yeah.
I can't use that word. I keep saying
I know. I was like, between everything we've said today, I'm like, this one's this one's got to be, yeah.
11 views.
Yeah. Right. Why? I don't know. It was a good show.
There's a lot of beeping going up in posts today.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, yeah, that was a rough one.
Oof. Yeah. Lessons learned, right?
Oh,
hopefully.
Yeah.
And and Jeremy did a fantastic job though too. So, and I think, like I said, he woke up that next day, you know, the day of the show, and he was like, all right, I'm focused, I get it. But we all have those little moments, and it's just get through that. And sometimes, man, it's you know what, things just don't always go perfect. There's flights that get missed. There's, you know, trunks that get forgotten. And like we just work with it, because at the end of the day, nobody cares, right? When you get up on stage, nobody knows any of those stories. They just see your physique, and it's not going to ruin you, you know, as long as you don't lose your head over it.
I was going to say one thing real quick while we're on that subject. Guys, know that you're brain dead at the end of the show, and know there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So a list of the things that you must bring should be put together like a week out.
Yeah.
So that you have all that stuff, and then you check that list. And if you're flying, the things that you need to compete must go on the airplane with you.
Yeah.
They must.
You know,
trunks.
You know, your CD
music,
with your posing music,
you know,
on it.
They won't know. Yeah. Anything. I remember we used to do that too. But I mean, all of that stuff has to go on the plane with you. I mean, I tell all the girls I work with, I'm like, your shoes on the plane.
Yeah.
Your suit on the plane. Like, do not, your food that we must have on the plane. The rest of your clothes, I don't care if you wear that suit all week.
Right.
To the grocery store. I need that shit.
I'd even put the flip-flops I was going to wear for the day of the show because I never wore normal shoes. I was a flip-flop guy for, the tan and shit.
Yeah.
Of course.
Those were in my carry-on. Everything I needed, I could just go to the show with my Nike dry fit stuff and my flip-flops and my trunks and my everything. Good to go.
I had asked him too, like, hey, do you want to get on the phone to make sure you've got everything you need? Put it, good list together. He's like, no, I got it. And then after I got that text, I was like, oh, this is not good. Because I know that feeling of like, just like all of a sudden the world fell apart. And Victoria said to me, she was like, that was the one thing. Like, he could have forgotten anything else. Anything. Just that was the one thing.
One custom thing that
the one
you can't
thing.
borrow.
You forget your ring light. Okay, you forget your body weight scale, which that's the number one thing I find people forget is their body weight scale. Yeah. But the trunks is the one thing. He'll never do that again. You know what I mean?
No. He'll bring them on vacation when he doesn't need them.
Right. What else did we have in those questions? I know, Ron, you saw a couple good ones that really stood out to you.
No, there were some good ones in there. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah.
Dusty's question boxes do all right.
Yeah. See if there's anything that stands out to you in there, man.
I got to find it again.
All right.
I trusted you.
Well, while you find it. All right.
What is it?
What changes would you guys like to see in the fitness industry? Trends, divisions, SUPs, how to deal with someone writing a college essay instead of actually doing a set, etc. Thank you for the
we know what theirs is.
Info. Yeah.
I think the thing that pops to mind for me that I would like to push to the new generation of bodybuilders is having a life outside of bodybuilding.
Yes.
And I know I'm an old, grumpy man, but I was in the gym the other day, and there were two girls there training, talking a ton. And I was just like, I just wanted to walk over and go, you're annoying the shit out of me. But anyways, could you talk about something other than your chicken breast and your diet and your I just feel like, it's something that I really believe, and anyone who followed me back in the day knows I was 120% bodybuilder, but having things that you do and enjoy outside of bodybuilding will make you a better bodybuilder.
Yeah, I agree.
It absolutely will. I know I saw this thing. It was actually funny. Matthew Tkachuk, his dad was a pro hockey player. He and his brothers are both pro hockey players.
Yeah.
And he was asked, what is a thing that your parents did that made it possible for you to become professional hockey players? And he said, they wouldn't let me play hockey in the summer.
Huh. Okay.
Yes.
He's like, we could play any sport we wanted except for hockey. He wanted us to hang out with our friends, play baseball, play soccer, do whatever, but we were not allowed to do summer leagues. And that just rings to me because it's like, you got to have something else because you'll either get burnt out or, you just won't love it. So I think that's something that more people could lean into now because I know it's gotten really popular to run your whole life around it and do social media and everything else, but other hobbies will change your perspective and make you a better bodybuilder.
I saw an interesting article on that exact thing, Dusty. There's a study that actually shows, now anyone out there that actually knows what it is can send it to us, but I believe it was kids who play multiple sports, who are forced to play multiple sports and exposed to multiple sports, actually wind up being better at the sport that they specialize in.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because one of the factors is they think that the kids at those ages are less likely to get burned out by the sport that they're focusing on. Mm-hmm. Because, if you got a kid playing summer league hockey, it's just all hockey. And, you can fry your kid on stuff too early, mm-hmm. Get them where they feel like they're trapped in this sport. And that's part of it. And then the second thing was there's just so much to take advantage of as a kid as far as developing their athletic skills and their athletic potential, and everything has like such an overlap. Like if you force them, like you expose them to summer sports, then there's other skills that they learn that they then bring back to their overall athletic ability as a hockey player when they start their season again. So there's some interesting research on that. Like multiple sports are the way to go if you want them to be good at any of those sports. Right. You know what I mean? Obviously there's an age when we specialize, you know.
Yeah.
You start sending kids go to the dub. You know,
it's time to stop playing baseball.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's it. That's funny that you said that. I think something that I'd like to see as far as having other things going on, I feel like I got away with murder. Being
Damn
like
it.
I know.
Like, I got away with unaliving.
This podcast, we're down to 6 views. We're down to 6.
We didn't even say, we're not even talking about any of those things, but it could be misconstrued by AI.
So, but I was very single focused, bodybuilder only, you know, my whole life was revolving around bodybuilding and stuff. But I was smart enough to know that I had to also like pay attention to my finances because bodybuilding wasn't going to take care of that and stuff. And I feel like I probably would have been an even better bodybuilder had I been even a little more diversified as far as my interests go. You know what I mean? And now that I'm older and I see people getting kind of trapped in the bodybuilding only mindset, I'm like, now I know I survived that, but it didn't go great for everyone.
Right.
And I don't necessarily recommend that, you know? And I think everyone should have a hobby that takes their mind away from bodybuilding. And you should ask yourself, do I have anything that takes me away from bodybuilding? Because I think it's actually a great idea, you know? Just something mentally, you're not thinking about your chicken breasts. I think that's a mistake, and it's going to burn you out, much like the young kid that you forced to play summer hockey.
Yep.
You know? So, yeah.
You know, another thing that I thought of that you guys have probably experienced, but and this could be anything, but in bodybuilding, we spend a lot of time talking about ourselves. Yeah. Like you know, so we'll be at the booth, and Nikki laughs because although she's in the sport, she's still an outsider, and she'll laugh because I'll see someone I know, and they'll walk up like, "Hey, Dusty, so this year I worked on bringing up my glutes and doing this. I just finished," and they just puke on me, and then they leave, and she's like, "What the hell was that? That's not even a conversation," and I think it's something that you should be mindful of. And I actually had a friend that was a really good sales guy. And I would notice when he would be around people, they'd be like, "Hey, Nate, how's what's going on with the family?" He'd go, "Oh, everyone's doing good." And then he'd immediately put it back to them and ask them about them and ask them things. And I realized, like, he's great to be around. Mm-hmm. Like, and then everyone loves him and no one even realizes why. But it's because he's always reversing. It's always getting back off of him. And I think in bodybuilding, because we are so focused, it's an easy trap to just go on and on and on about yourself. And I find the world is a lot more interesting. And especially in bodybuilding, I always laugh because people are like, "How's things?" And I'm like, dude, I live the same day every day. I'm the most boring person to talk to. So please tell me about you. You know what I mean? But I think that they'll find that they enjoy things better and people won't avoid them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to be a little cognizant of the post-show puke. When I think everyone who's a bodybuilder has done it to someone at least once.
Oh, for sure.
And that's fine. That's fine. We all went through that. I'm sure I did it a bunch of times. But try to be aware of if you're doing it and it's not a habit you want to be in, and it's not like a thing you want to have as like a constant trait. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's like, when someone says, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, they mean you. Like, how's it going? Like, how are you? They don't just mean, how's your diet? How's your prep? How's your morning pictures? They don't just mean, in fact, most likely, that's the stuff they care the least about.
Yeah.
Like when I ask someone how they're doing, I would love hearing an actual answer. Like, oh, I'm doing great, man. You know, blah, 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 blah. And but the last thing I want to hear is like, hey, man, congratulations on the weekend. Yeah, you know, I'm really going to bring my back. And then just this long tirade about their bodybuilding plans that have nothing to do with the moment. I just, you know, I know what you mean, Dusty.
Hey, I just got a text from UC Suma. He says, Jordan Hutchinson is right in front of me training chest with Justin Wyatt right now.
Oh.
I told him, hey, ask him to come on the show after he's done competing for the season. We'd love to get him on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that won't be till October now.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe before
he'll come on
that.
before.
Yeah.
Justin.
Yeah.
Jordan will definitely be down. We've shared some cheeseburgers together. We're good. We're tight.
Oh, you know him? You know him enough to... Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Okay.
What about this one then, guys, from Dan Cooley? He says, guys, got first call out at Masters Nats a few weeks ago now. The main critique I received was to bring in my glutes and glute tie-in better. What are some things besides RDLs and glute bridges that I can do to really bring in those gnarly walnut-looking glutes and that deep tie-in?
Get shredded.
Yeah. There's only two things you can do: add muscle and reduce fat. So if you have enough muscle there, right? If you're, squatting and stiff leg deadlifting and doing all the, stuff you're supposed to do to get muscle there, the rest is just get more peeled than you've ever been. Get to where you were at this last show and then drop 5 more pounds and just, get to where you were at the last show with 5 weeks left in your prep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then just like that skin will just get tighter and tighter and tighter. And then people will wind up telling you, oh, what did you do? And you're like, I just got leaner.
Braden talked about that on his Instagram the other day. I thought it was great. He said the biggest mistake that a lot of bodybuilders make is their preps are too short.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, we used to do 12-week preps.
Especially
that was the norm. And now I like to start people at 20 as a minimum.
Yeah.
I think we used to
20
start.
is a fast prep.
We used to do the 12. I remember my first show was an 11-week prep.
Yep.
Wow.
I got ripped because we just didn't. You know how people tell you stuff so you think it's a rule? Like, the rule, like, you gotta lose 2 to 3 pounds a week or it's muscle.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know my first show. I didn't know that rule. Just went on a diet.
Peeled.
The weight just fell off and I wound up ripped, and it was 11 weeks and it was a hard diet. I was starving the whole time. But yeah, I was losing like 5 pounds a week.
I'll add too, if he does need more tissue, I think that bodybuilders, and some people will be surprised to hear this, but I've had 2 bodybuilders that I work with actually go to Brett Contreras and get programs to train their glutes differently because they didn't have enough tissue. And I'm like, dude, because they're like, I want shredded glutes like you had. I'm like, I have a huge ass.
Yeah.
You have to bring the tissue there. And trust me when I say they're fighting me tooth and nail because I've got them doing all sorts of weird Brett Contreras glute work in the gym like the bikini girls. I had 2 guys do that for a year.
Yeah.
Insanity.
If you aren't...
It changed my whole view of how it works. I mean, the amount of tissue that 2 guys that had nothing going on could put on in 1 year of just adding that stuff in 3 days a week, mind-boggling. So don't be afraid to get outside of your box. I know a lot of guys, and I've been guilty of this, will say like, we never used to do hip thrust. We just squatted and we just did this. Throw the rules out the window. If you don't have glutes and you're already doing all that shit, then you better find something else, because in bodybuilding, you can also need more glutes if you want to see that kind of detail. And I think that more people should not be afraid to go, okay, I'm going to get weird here and see what happens.
I told you guys that's what I did with one of my clients, local competitor, IFBB Pro Amy Landry, bikini competitor. And I was like, Amy, my glutes sucked. Like, they just never grew. And I was like, I want to come to the gym with you to train glutes. And we like shot video of it, and it like made fun of the whole, like had fun with the whole thing,
Yeah.
But I picked out the things that worked for me and I stuck with them. and I got literally like newbie like gains. And I have like pictures that were like side by side glute shots, the side profile of the glute, like of 3 months difference. And it was like lights out difference, So if you're
what exercises were you doing?
Hip thrusts were, a big one. Yeah. And so here's one that I found really helped me a lot was like pre-activation stuff. So I'd start out on the abductor machine, but I'd you see the bikini girls that kind of like sit forward on the machine, and you kind of envision the top shelf of the glute. A lot of times when you go to do the abductor, it's like a hinge movement, and it kind of if you go real heavy, it kind of goes to your hips. You know what I mean? And like right into that joint. But if you go a little bit lighter and you're kind of like sitting forward, but then also kind of have your chest raised, I can target that like upper shelf of the glute. And just that mind muscle connection to that alone was a start. So just doing stuff like that, and then one-legged glute bridges off of a bench. Those 3 things were like the main 3 that I stuck with. She had me do some crazy stuff that was like way out there that I was like, I'm not going to stick with these, but those 3 I could do. And also too, side note, if you guys hadn't heard me tell this story before, anybody listening, it also fixed my low back issues because it turned out my glutes weren't turning on. So everything when I was doing barbell row, stuff like that, my low back was just bracing as hard as it could until it couldn't. It couldn't, and then I'd throw my back out, So strengthening the glutes helped to support my bent over movements. Huge.
Yeah. Valid.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Real quick one.
Nothing ever made my glutes more sore than heavy Bulgarian split squats.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know that leg you're standing on.
Yeah.
That glute has to stabilize too because you're only on one leg. It gets so pumped. Yeah.
Real quick one from Lucas. Says, would you rather eat 2 burgers or 1 burger and 1 fry?
Great question.
Where are we eating these? It matters.
Yeah. Where are you at? The fries matter. The fries are either
That's true.
Yes or a eh.
Yeah. There's plenty of places that's 2 burgers for me because their fries suck. But, I mean, if you're taking me somewhere that has like a quality fry, burger and fry.
Best fry.
All time? McDonald's.
You like a shoestring, kind of a thinner.
Theirs are just when done correctly, and they got to be like hot. Then they are amazing.
I'll challenge you. I'll challenge you on that. Those. I'll say Arby's curly fries.
Like those. Yes, great choice.
But I do like the McDonald's fries too.
Great
those
choice.
Are good.
Yeah, I forget about curly fries when I'm in this argument, and then I immediately am like, ooh.
And then there's also like for me, I love a good kind of a fatter skin still on fry.
Ooh, like the wedge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a little fatter, like the Five Guys ones.
They're
normal fries, but they still have the skin on them, but they're not the shoelace ones. They're not the real.
Yeah.
But I like a Five Guys fry, that giant bag of fries that you get. Where
I went somewhere recently where they, instead of salt, they used seasoned salt on them, and it was amazing.
This is good.
It was like, next level.
If you're at a restaurant, will you guys upgrade to sweet potato fries ever? You ever do that?
No, because Emily gets the sweet potato fries, so I get the normal fries, and then I finish her fries, and then I get both types.
Okay, good call.
Yeah. It all works itself out for me. Yeah.
Maths out. I like this.
I live the type of life where I get both fries. Yeah.
Why choose?
Both fries kind of guy. Yeah.
I'm a 2 fries type of guy. My woman lets me have both kinds. Yeah. My woman shares with me, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to reach across the table.
Yeah.
What else you got, Scott?
I'm looking here. Dusty, will you be at the Clash of Charleston in October?
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't leave my house very often.
Would you ever run?
I'm leaving my house tomorrow to go shoot 2 episodes of Mutant on a Mission.
Oh.
Where are you going? He doesn't know.
Yeah, I have to come up with something. No, I'm going to... I'm going to 2 great gyms. Well, I haven't been there yet. They might be shitholes. But... they seem like great guys, great gyms, and I've been invited by the owners, which, I like to be invited. There's a lot of gyms that they'll message me and go, why haven't you come to my gym?
Yeah.
You never
And
asked.
I go, well, you've never invited me and you've never messaged me before, but hello. But these guys, both these gyms went out of their way. They came to see me at the booth. They've chatted with me. They watch the show. They're fans of the show. And I'm excited to go see the guys at Prodigy Gym in Denver. It's actually in Fort Collins, which will be cool because I've done Armbrust Gym in Denver, and then I've never been back to Denver for anything. So I'd love to go back. It's up in Fort Collins, and it's called Prodigy Gym, and it looks like a great setup they got. And then I'm going to Indianapolis. I've never been to Indy before.
Ooh,
Nice.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to see Nathan Epler.
Oh, okay,
at American
cool.
Muscle Factory.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah. So Nathan Epler messaged me, and they came and saw me at the booth, and he was like, "Man, I love your show," you know. And he's a gym-owning pro bodybuilder, so
Yeah.
I got something in common with Nathan, trying to run a business and make a good gym for everybody. So I'm excited to go there. I've never been to Indianapolis before,
Yeah.
and so I'm excited. And I needed to catch 2 episodes of the show, so when I sat down to start lining up flights, I was like, it's such a perfect trip. Denver's easy to get to, lots of flights to Indy.
Yeah.
It's nice. It worked out really good.
I have clients that have trained at that gym. In fact, one of them I think was like trying to set you up with him a while ago. So I don't know if that's how this ended up happening.
Right. No, it's been ongoing, you know.
Okay.
And most of the gyms I go to now for Mutant on a Mission, they've been bugging me at this point I'm like 5 years backed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like the gyms I'm going to now are people like that came to see me in 2019 to invite me.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, I do 8 to 10 episodes a season, and I've been invited by like 100 gyms. So what are you going to do? You know?
How about this question, guys? So, competing against other competitors, when was a time when you were pumping up and you were just like, well, I lost?
I remember. I remember going to the North Americans and being like, sort of having the mindset like, well, I didn't win the Canadas this year because it was always like 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm going to go to North Americans and make the biggest impact I can. You never know what'll happen. Right.
Right.
It's like positive, like it's going to be the best I can. We'll go see what happens. Sometimes guys come home with wins. You never know what's going to happen. Right.
Right.
I'm always in the kind of top group. I always get looked at. Let's go see. And then Akeem takes his shirt off backstage.
Akeem Williams.
And you're like, yeah, like I don't need to come to this show. Like it's just really an expense for me to have fun at a show. Like it's me competing for fun. And I don't really need to be here.
That was the year that second place was Michael Lockett also.
Yeah. And you're like, I put all this effort in, and I took all this gear, and I put my body through all this fucking brutal torture
For 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
for 2 more weeks after the show I just did, and then I standing there looking at Akeem, and you're like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? It's ridiculous. You know, there's no point. You know, and then Akeem easily wins, like easily, like, you know, as easy as any regional show you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Where some guy wins. That's
pro.
how easy he won that show. Like, you know, it's like everyone backstage is like, oh,
Yeah.
Akeem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be the last time that happened to me. But yeah.
I remember, I mean, I always knew at those levels that chances are there would be someone. But 2010 USA's, I didn't make it to weigh-ins because I saw Jason Huzz's pictures 6 weeks out. And I was like, all right, well, that's the overall winner.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we'll shoot for second.
Yeah.
like I mean, you knew anybody who knows that era, as soon as he released those photos, you were like,
He
well,
was
this is
nuts.
done.
He was nuts.
This is done. So, but I have so many great like backstage stories. Actually, at that show, I think you're talking about 2013, Ron, right?
Yeah.
Team one. Yeah. So I was talking to him, Lockett, and someone else. I can't remember. We were all just talking, waiting to go out. And this kid walks over. His eyes are enormous. And he goes, hey. And we turn, like, what's up, man? And he goes, what do you guys do? like he had won some small show and just showed up to North Americans, and his whole life changed backstage. He's like, oh, it's funny because my friend Daniel, he's the one that passed away about 2 years ago. He told me the first time he went to North Americans, he goes, "This is where bodybuilding dreams go to die."
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I didn't even have to go there. I just went to a good state level show. There was the Titan Classic, and I knew, I was like, okay, so I'm a state level guy, and why don't I don't have a schedule. I can do whatever shows I want. Why don't I pick one out of state? I was like, why don't I pick one in Southern California? Because then I can go to like train at Golds and stuff like that. So that's what I did. And I did the 2017 Titan Classic. And I remember like it was cool because it was one of Tamer's shows. So I met him there.
Yeah, great guy.
And I remember like I was supposed to bring up my registration, and instead I pulled like the wrong thing out of my bag. I had like my flight information, and I handed it to him. Like in front of a room full of people that were all sitting down. He was like, "Is there anybody that don't have their registration?" I was like, "Oh yeah, me." And I reach in my backpack and walk in and be like, "No, this is your flight information, son." So that was funny. But
good start.
Then in that same room, everybody, gets ready to weigh in then at the end of that. And I can't remember his name for the life of me right now. But he put it this way. After that show, he went to nationals and won. He worked with Milos. And now he competes in the 212, like legit instantly was a 212 competitor. But he was the guy who peeled down in front of me to get on the scale, and he was in my class as a light heavyweight. He didn't even have to peel down. I just saw his calves, and then I saw his quads, and I was like, oh my. And then I saw his back, and I was like, this dude is legit a pro already,
Yeah.
He's winning the whole thing.
The guy who used to own iForce, Dave Nelson, he had that same thing. He was doing the the border states back in the day, and he'd won some shows, so he's like, he's going to win, and he's like, he was peeled, everything was on point, and he said at weigh-ins he sees this guy and he peels down and he's like, who the fuck is that? And he's just nuts, and he's like, he starts to ask him like where he's from. He's like, oh, I'm not from the States. I just came in. They invited me to come do the show. And he's like, oh, lovely. It was Dennis James.
Yeah.
So when Dennis James flies over from another country to kick the shit out of you, it's a rough day at the office. He's like, yeah. And then, it's bad when at weigh-ins they're like pushing him to go do the nationals. He's like, just do nationals this year.
Right.
Like the show hasn't even happened yet. They're like, anyways, this is over. Let's move on to nationals.
Yeah.
I think everyone has that, though, those moments. I remember Chris Cook told me that he did nationals the first time, and he had won like the Anchorage, and he smoked everybody. So we went down to nationals, and he was running late not for weigh-ins, but to get on stage. And he runs back to the back, and he sees all these guys lined up, and he goes, "Oh my God, when did the heavies go?" And the guy goes, "What do you mean they haven't went yet?" He goes, "Well, why are you all lined up?" The guy goes, "We're middleweights." And he goes, "That's when I knew I spent $2,000 to watch a bodybuilding show."
Yeah.
He thought he was talking to super heavyweights and they were middleweights. And he was like, oh, shit.
That's wild.
Himself.
There was Remy Berminga, who does a lot of the shows around here, had told me his story. I mentioned it to you guys a long time ago. And I believe it was Jim Quinn who was weighing in front of him. And it was Remy said it was the year he was like, I went all out. Like, I really pushed this year. I put on a lot more weight, and I knew like I'm coming in the heaviest I'd ever been. And he was just like over the heavyweights, he's just like standard heavyweight. I don't know what he was, 220 or something like that. And anyway, he says then Quinn gets on the scale in front of him, and he's like 60 pounds heavier than Remy is. And he turns around and looks at Remy, puts both of his hands on his shoulder, and says, "Go big or go home, right, Remy?" And he was like, oh God. After all of that, like, I'm really going to do it this time. I put all my heart into it, pushed as heavy as I could get.
Guy rolls in at 280.
Yeah, Jim Quinn. It was either Jim Quinn or Mike Quinn. I can't remember which one it was.
It could have been either one of them. They both would have done that. That's exactly what both of them would have done. Yeah.
I also love that he turned around and gave that to him. Probably That's Jim. Fantastic.
Yeah. Go home, or go big, or go home, Remy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Everyone else went home.
I've told the story before, but one of my favorite, like, sort of a guy coming in and winning a show was my second show. And I went there thinking I was big. I'd won my first show, so I went to my second show. I was like, here we go. I'm big. I weighed in at 250, right? Should have weighed in at 235, but weighed in at 250 thinking I was big. And there was this guy at the weigh-ins who had this giant beard and a big ponytail, and he, like, looked really rough. Like, he hadn't, like, his beard wasn't trimmed. It was, like, unshaven, homeless, like, full out. And he looked small. He wasn't big. And they called heavyweights, and he stood up. And I was like, he barely looks like he weighs 200 pounds. And there was me and this other big dude and this other guy that was like 230 and like a couple of 250 pounders. And me and this other big dude, we all stand up for heavyweights. And this was before there was a supers. And so we all go and get in line and we start weighing in. And then that dude's right in front of me and he strips down and he's just skinless, like just this anatomy chart of striations that steps on. He steps on the scale, standing relaxed, glutes are completely ripple chip, see-through skin.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I've lost this show. This guy's going to destroy everyone. This is so ridiculous. And then he weighs in at like 202. Like barely 200 pounds. And then the next day, I go back to my hotel and I'm like, God, that guy was so ripped. Oh, maybe I can beat everyone but him.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we're backstage getting ready, like heavyweights, and he shows up and he's shaved his face.
Okay.
Over the course of the night. Oh yeah, and his hair was long. He had this long, that's what he had, long like Conan hair. And he showed up the next day and it was pulled back tight in a little top knot.
Yeah.
And then he had his face shaved totally clean and it was like a dead skeleton. And he rolls in and starts posing backstage to like get going and his tricep horse.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I said, what do I got to do to get as ripped as you? And he goes, oh, that's my coach. And he introduced me to his coach, Brian. And then I won the next year. Yeah. I used that coach and I won the next year. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Just that shock, and see him shaved face the next day and realize his face was like a skeleton, like a dead person. I was like, oh God.
Yeah. Had he been shaven the day before, you would have known before.
Yeah, it was hidden. It just like a big beard, right?
Yeah.
And then you see the face the next day and you're like, oh, I would have known if I would have just,
I could have taken that loss earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times at the state level shows, especially, it's not the biggest guy that you have to worry about. And I learned
that shows up like that. Yeah.
I remember seeing guys that were just like massive in clothes. And I'm like, oh my God, that guy's 3 times my size. And you get on stage with him and you didn't ever have to worry about him. He just wasn't in shape. It's the little guys, and you learn that. It's interesting when you work with somebody who's never competed before and they're like, well, I want to come in as big as possible. And I'm like, no, you have what you have. You want to come in as lean as possible. You want to freak people out with how lean you are because you're not going to get any bigger between now and the show. I mean, you might grow a little bit. Yeah, you grow into the show, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like a Lavroni thing. You need to get absolutely lights out peeled, Yeah. And they learn that, though, because then you go to the show and then you realize, like, oh, it wasn't the biggest guys who won. It was the best guys, the leanest guys,
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good time, though.
Absolutely. Good eye openers.
I think that was a good place to call it with Ron's story. What do you guys think?
It was a long show.
Agreed.
It was good.
Solid.
Yeah.
I feel like we're giving the people something.
Some value.
We hit 6
Except
competitors. I don't want to hear this. That was phenomenal.
Except for Dusty with his terrible, crappy comments on social media.
Yeah, exactly. You got a lot of editing to do, so you should probably start now.
Oh, we said so many things that did not, like, we were not intentionally saying, like, all that. But there was like 10 times today. So I might just leave it as a test. When
it came out, when Rod dropped the M word, I was like, oh no.
Yeah. He didn't even mean it in that way either.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I find a way. Okay. Quick before we go, I got to say to Scott, we are enjoying Fargo. We are, however, in season 4, which is the 1950s Chris Rock season.
Oh, yeah.
And it's definitely a little slower moving. This season has been like weird, a little weird. Like there's a lot going on with the Italians and the black guys.
Yeah. It's
right.
Yeah, there really is.
But I know there's a payoff, and I know that season 5 is supposed to be apparently amazing with John Hamm.
Season 5 is the only season that you could watch that doesn't tie in. From what I understand, it doesn't have any tie-ins with the previous ones, but it has the same feel, the same vibe, the same types of people. Now that you know that area of the world and the types of people that exist in it, that will inform you as to what you're watching.
And now, are they done the show, or is there a season 6 coming?
I heard there might be, but I mean, it's been done. So, also, have you seen the brothers that train at your gym since we talked?
Yeah, they were on the show.
Yeah, remember I told you that? Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
No. What did you say?
Yeah, the 2 brothers.
Yeah, but you told us that, but did you see them since
have you
saw
seen
them?
them?
Show?
No, I haven't seen them yet. They train in the morning, and I haven't seen them yet. But today's a holiday.
Yeah.
And the gym's always a real mix-up on the holiday. You know, everyone's training in weird hours, and I'm going in right after this. So if I see them, Brad and Todd.
If you see them, tell them that I'm a huge fan. And I'm going to ask, could you get a picture with them for me?
I'm going to try to get a picture of them in their outfits signed for you. I'm going to see if I can get one. Yeah.
That would be epic.
Yeah, I'm going to see if they have one.
You don't even know, man. That show goes down in history as one of my favorite TV shows ever. It really does. Yeah.
We just saw the episode where the lunatic Italian brother.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when he's in that bar with that kid and that bartender and he gets a little frustrated?
Not specifically, no.
He does a little unaliving. There's a little bit of unaliving.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, he's such a short
loose
fuse.
Cannon.
Loose cannon, like just complete psychopath. And you're like, oh my, geez, you can't take this guy anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
and his dynamic with the other brother who's actually running things. Like
Jason
their
Silver
dynamic is incredible. Yeah.
What's his name? Silver?
Silver? Yeah, he's been in
Jason
another
Schwartzman.
show.
Jason Schwartzman. Yeah, he's great as that brother. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in another show, Bored to Death, I think. Was that it? No, not Bored to Death. Right.
Well, he's also in all those who's the guy that made like Desjardins Limited and the Budapest Hotel and Asteroid City.
He's a great, very
he's
like
in
his
all
character.
that guy's movies. The guy that has the weird color palettes. Is that not Paul Thomas Anderson. Anyways, one of those directors. Yeah.
Not Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
He's been in all the Wes Anderson movies. Yeah.
I used to go to, in art school, I used to go to those films in like the Ann Arbor art theaters and stuff, all of those.
Yeah. So Dusty, we're enjoying Fargo. There you go.
Nice. I might have to dip into that because that's
been good.
We're watching Mindhunter.
Apparently that's supposed to be awesome.
Dusty, that was also one of my favorite shows.
Dude, dude. It's like a slow burn.
Yeah.
But it is like so good.
There's a lot of people that really want them to do that show, continue to do that show.
I've heard that.
They've tried to buy it and sell it and keep it going. And
we watched that, and then we went to True Detective right after season 1, which was a nice kind of direction to go. The 70s in that, like the vibe you get from like when they're in like the bar scenes or just the cars they're driving. I love that.
I get excited when he's smoking on the airplane. I'm like, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Mindhunter was so good.
That's a great. If you got to watch that, Ron, it's definitely up your alley. And realizing that all the things that are normal to us that we know about criminals and stuff, that someone had to come up with that.
Yeah.
Create the term serial unalive.
Right, because because that show's kind of back when this is all like a new thing.
Like, they were the first they were developing profiling.
Yeah. First profilers,
It's fantastic. I'm like,
we finished Mobland, by the way.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Which was incredible. Yeah, that was a good show. That was a good, and I feel like they set us up for like future installments,
Yeah, they did.
That Harry character he's like the John Wick of England, kind of.
Well, he's gonna have to contend with her That
Oh,
gangster.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kathy or whatever
Remember?
her name is.
She's like, you're not going to tell me to go fuck myself, are you? And he's like, yeah.
And then he
I
did.
am. And then he did, yeah. Crazy.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. She's got some power. She's a scary woman.
Is it Kat McAllister?
Yeah, Kat McAllister. Yeah. She's a great actress too. Everything she's in, she's badass.
The way they played that up too.
Yeah, she was in Ozark. Remember?
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She was the lawyer.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah.
The way they played her up too. They're like, how did you get that? We're like, Kat McAllister. We're like, well, how did you get Kat? You owe Kat McAllister a favor? No,
you don't want.
And that's like, you don't even know who she is for like 7 episodes. You know what I mean?
Just the name instills like fear in people.
Yeah. Like if these guys are nasty, if Richie is nasty, this guy's nasty. And Kat McAllister's a level up from that. She's a level up from the guy with the chainsaw.
Yeah, exactly. She can make a phone call and make him stop.
Yeah, she can make that guy listens to her. Yeah, yeah. Great stuff. Okay, enjoy your TV, everybody.
Yes,
we're happy to hear the Tampa went good.
Ryan.
Dallas coming up next.
Yes.
What about Jack Ryan?
Jack Ryan.
Yeah,
we just started watching that. Yeah.
Yep.
We just.
Is it like the TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We thought that maybe I was like, did Ron and Dusty mention us to watch that one?
It's solid.
I was like,
yeah, it's supposed to be solid.
Okay.
It's got Jim from The Office in it, doesn't it?
That's all we can see is Jim. You know,
Yeah.
that's all. That's all we can see.
Yeah,
that guy has a great story. You know, he moved away to New York to become an actor, a model, whatever, and he decided, like, everyone thought it was a terrible idea, and he decided he was going to stop. So he called his mom. He said, "Hey, I'm going to come home. You know, it's just not working out." And his mom's like, "I think you should wait. I think you should give it a couple more months." And then he landed The Office.
Yeah. Wow.
Like literally, he was ready to pack it up, and his mom's like, not yet. And then I think he said, like, within 2 weeks, he got The Office.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of examples of that, like close calls.
Yeah.
Like, I love this story about how Rhoden gave up his LA apartment and was going to go back to Boston. Because he was on like a show that got canceled. Like, he did a pilot and it got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, the stand-up was going okay, but nothing had really gone crazy, and he was going to come back, and then he literally got rid of his apartment, so he was like, had to move out, and then he got news radio, which was that sitcom that went 5 years, and then all of a sudden, and then, you know, Fear Factor, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh my God, I made it, you know?
Yeah. Then it became his own thing, you know, after that.
Don't quit, everybody. It's a lesson. Do one more North Americans, you can win.
Even if you got 12th last year.
Don't quit. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys. Remember, everybody, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring the bell.
Yes, and remember, IamMutant.com. Go to IamMutant.com. Get your ISO surge. Get your hardcore ISO, I guess.
Yes.
Get your all in. Get your Mind FK, and everyone should get on the gear.
And at the end of the night, hit the big greens. Don't forget.
Yeah, and hit the big greens at night before bed. They are great.
Chocolate flavored greens.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So
that's the only greens I've consistently used in my entire career. As soon as Jim said chocolate,
it's beautiful.
I just throw it right in my shake.
Okay.
I don't even know it's there.
I remember I asked Clarita, goes, it's really good. It tastes awesome. And I go, what's it taste like? And he goes, it tastes like chocolate Yoo-hoo.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I don't know what Yoo-hoo is, but I had to look it up. It's like a yogurt drink.
Well, now you know what Yoo-hoo tastes like because you have big greens.
It's awesome. So, yes. And the chocolate, you're right, Dusty. I've never been a greens guy, but the chocolate greens can go in my chocolate shake. And now it's not another drink I have to choke down. It's just one delicious beverage. Okay. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Remember, it's just bodybuilding.